Welcome into Miami Gardens, Florida. Cody Chaffins and Justin Felder as we are counting down to kickoff in front of Hard Rock Stadium. And all the heat, the humidity down here in Miami, it feels like a world away from what's going on in Atlanta with the rain and the nasty weather they've had. But it's a long way from Atlanta. It's a really long way from one of the Dogs' true breakout freshmen.
All right, yeah, from oranges to grapes here, Cody. And you might say a national championship run would pair nicely with another breakout performance from Georgia's star freshman tight end. Because we will go anywhere for a good story, the Fox 5 Sports crew made their way out to Napa, wine country, to catch up with those who know Brock Bowers best. When most of us hear Napa, you think of sensational reds and whites. But this week, Napa might make you think of a freshman sensation wearing red and black.
You know, we're not a big city. When people hear about Napa, they think of wine country. Now Brock is, putting Napa on the map.
It's just been surreal and unbelievable.
The city of Napa is a down-to-earth, blue-collar town, a few vine lengths away from the famous vineyards. These days, their most famous son is the son of Deanna and Warren Bowers.
Well, there were some things he did on the field that were just like, what? How? What? He just did that, and we just kind of would talk about it after and go, that was pretty good.
Both former college athletes at Utah State University.
Well, I'm by far and away the better athlete of the two.
For the record, Deanna is in the college's Hall of Fame as a softball player.
She bites her tongue.
Warren played football.
Bowers up top one-on-one if you want it.
As does their son, Georgia tight end Brock Bowers.
Bowers climbs the ladder. He's got another touchdown.
At Napa High School, Brock played offense, defense. He even returned kicks and helped re-energize a team that had endured a hazing scandal years earlier.
A guy like that, 6'3", 230, and fast. He just looked different than anyone out there in the field.
It was enough to earn the attention of colleges across the country. Brock told his parents he wanted a school that was serious about football, but still had a small town feel. Georgia coaches started making trips out to the West Coast and convinced the Bowers family to check out Athens.
And Coach Smart was super straightforward with him. First time in his office, Coach Smart said, all right, you're from California. How serious are you about Georgia? And I was like, oh my goodness. And Brock said, I'm real serious.
When we recruited him, I thought he was different than typical freshman. I mean, this is a guy that would put his phone up and go run up a hill out in Napa and sprint up the hill and back down the hill and send video of it.
And Bowers didn't waste any time.
I knew he was going to do well, but I didn't think it was going to be this soon.
There's the snap to Brock Bowers. Look at the time.
As a freshman, the tight end with blazing speed leads the Dogs in receiving yards. He was named SEC Freshman of the Year. His 11 receiving touchdowns are tied with Georgia great Terrence Edwards for the most in a single season all time. And that's meant something very new. A lot of attention.
I think he would rather show up and not have a number on his jersey and not have a name on the back of it and just play. I mean, it was like, oh, I'd just soon turn and run the other way if someone said, Brock Bowers, yeah, good game, and now he's starting to embrace it a little bit. Pictures with the kids, stuff that he wouldn't have done 6 months ago.
He has a lot of friends. A lot of people admire him.
And back in his hometown of Napa, where the football stadium is split between Napa High School Blue and arch rival Vintage High School Red, it seems like everybody has one thing in common.
We got kids that, haven't played football talking about it in the hallways, and I'm asking, do you see Brock on TV and this and that?
To see the whole community rally around Brock.
And the freshman is off.
I'll go to the store, to the gym. Suddenly are like, they're so excited for Brock, and I've set my time, and when's the next game? That's been amazing about this community is we've been earthquake, fire, so the community kind of feels like they almost rallied behind Brock too, to have something positive to look at every Saturday.
And a quick story, Cody, about what motivates Brock Bowers, right? I talked to his family. They said they see him after every game. They show him YouTube highlights of what he did in the game, and he goes, But they got to visit Athens, and they saw the Georgia football headquarters around Thanksgiving. First time they were there, they walked around. You've seen this before. They put up on the wall Offensive Player of the Week, Practice Player of the Week, the thing that the team votes on. He pointed this out, he pointed that out, he's showing his parents. So it was that recognition from coaches and teammates. That's what meant a lot to Brock Bowers.
It was so interesting hearing coaches and his teammates talk about him all week, because he's been a huge topic of conversation throughout these Orange Bowl press conferences. And what the players were saying is they saw the physical when he got here, but that didn't necessarily mean he was going to have a breakout year. What they were really surprised at is he grasped all these football concepts and already has a great relationship with Stetson Bennett.
And the interesting thing is, we've never heard his voice before. He's a freshman, and normally at something like this, you'd have media day. Everybody's required to talk, but because of how things are this year, no media day, no chance to talk to the freshmen. We'll have to see if Georgia wins a couple more games, if Kirby loosens up those rules.
The thing about Brock Bowers, too, is he's not under the radar anymore.
No.
We saw Alabama try and shut him down. He still had some incredible catches against the Tide in the SEC championship game. We'll see how Michigan deals with Brock Bowers in the Orange Bowl that is coming up on Friday at 7:30 at the stadium right behind us, Hard Rock Stadium. Tonight.